we're talking about
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. It's terrifying.
Today we're talking about what ChatGPT means for you and the commercial real estate industry
as a whole.
Yeah,
we want to talk about how you can use this technology and AI to make your life easier, simpler, give you more time with your family and your kids, blah, blah, blah. That's whatever's important to you, this shit is going to help you do that. It's exciting as shit.
Yeah.
Scary as shit.
Yeah.
It's not Bitcoin.
No.
Okay, that's the big thing we need to remember. ChatGPT isn't Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you get in now or later. It's here. It's here. You're a broker. You work in commercial real estate. Don't feel like, oh shit, I've missed the buzz. I've missed the
boat's going off.
Yeah, like no. I felt that way on Tuesday. Josh was like, calm down, bro. Calm down.
Also,
send me some videos. Calm down. Fine. It's not Bitcoin. Okay, so let go of that anxiety. The anxiety you should have is for your job. I'm kidding.
And if you don't watch this video,
if you don't watch this
keep
video,
that anxiety.
If you don't watch this video, then
it's on you.
Then maybe your job is a problem. And that's not clickbaity at all. Like, seriously.
It turns out it can
a
actually
reason.
make your job better.
So much better. And that's what we want to talk about in this video. ChatGPT. There are some potential downsides.
There's downsides
as with
for
all
now.
technology.
Yeah.
As with all technology. Like the guys at Blockbuster, you know, they were probably like, this is not going to affect me. It did.
Yeah.
And that's been happening for centuries, right? Innovation causes redundancy in every, every aspect. So
I think the fact is, if you don't choose to evolve, you will go extinct. Look what happened to the dodo. The dodo didn't choose to evolve.
No.
Yeah, it
Evolved
was like
slowly, bro.
the dodo was like, I'm happy where I am. I don't need
fly,
this.
it just
like,
walked, it couldn't run. It stood no
Yeah.
effing chance,
Yeah.
basically. Like, if you can't fly and you can't run, you're an animal. You can just only walk and you taste delicious.
Yeah.
Big problems. But we'll talk more about that later. We're gonna get into what this is and what it means for you. So what is ChatGPT that you've been hearing about everywhere? What is it?
It is a natural language processing model.
I don't know what that
by
means.
OpenAI.
What does that mean?
What is that?
Tell
It's
me.
essentially your smart coworker or best friend that you can ask any question and
It can write you shit.
it can
Google can't write you anything. It is the fastest company to 1 million users by a really, really long way.
5 days.
5 days. It got to 1 million users in 5 days. Instagram is the next closest, and that took 2.5 months.
Yeah. Facebook.
Netflix took 3.5 years to get to 1 million users. That's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So basically, ChatGPT is AI. We need to embrace it, and now you need to think about how to use it. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go into how we use this shit. So the first example we've got up here is writing an email to current and potential clients. And what you can see from this is that it basically gives you the skeleton. It gives you some pretty decent information, but it's super bland. It's not your own tone. It's not your own style. So that's where the human element comes in. And that's why we don't need to be too worried just yet. I'm not saying it's never going to get there, but right now it's not at a stage where there isn't any human element involved. So you can see here, it does all the right things. It says all the right things, but it's very generic. So that's what we've seen a lot with playing with this tool. When it writes content, it writes blogs, emails, etc. It's very, very generic. So keep that in mind. You're going to need to put your own spin, especially on the emails. You need to check it. Obviously, you're not just going to send it.
It needs to be humanized. It needs that human touch, that emotion, that wordsmithing that only you can add to your email.
The next thing is writing blogs, and this is probably the most time-consuming thing that any marketer and any thought leader once, like it's the worst thing you
Yeah.
actually have to do, to sit down, especially if you're not a writer, if you're not great with words.
Yeah. Where do you start?
Like
What do you write about?
You've got all the knowledge in your head, you've got all the information, but you don't know how to write that shit.
Yeah.
Like that's not an easy thing for everyone.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's a skill to write a blog.
But
ChatGPT.
that's all changed. That's
Yeah.
all changed.
It has changed. But in saying that, you still need to, like the emails, go through it, proof it, wordsmith it, add your touch, add your tone.
It's very important to do that, because if you upload this to your website and you take it straight from the platform, Google, the Gordon Ramsay spider bots are going to figure out that this is AI generated, and it's going to downrank your website. So
Yeah.
it's super important that you rewrite this in your own words. It's going to give you a lot of good information and a lot of skeleton,
A lot of speed.
great ideas, good starting points, but it's not the end product. Okay, like you can't take this as the end product yet.
Yeah.
I'm saying yet for everything in this podcast, because
Everything's unknown.
everything is so unknown. Because I do believe in 6 months, that 6 months, a year, it's going to be really quick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That it will start to be able to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
There's still a human element. I don't know how long the human element's going to need to be there, but for now, that's all we can say. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal, the fact that you can produce a blog in
Yeah.
a quarter of the time that you would normally do it. And I think it's hard for a lot of brokers to
Exactly.
do that thought leadership side of marketing. It's incredibly difficult. It takes so much time.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
yeah.
it also just brings us on to the next point, where it's, how do you come up with these blog ideas, these blog topics, content ideas? What are you want to shoot a video on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts? What do you talk about? How do you come up with these content ideas?
I know what to do.
What do you do?
Ask ChatGPT.
Brilliant answer. Yeah. If you can ask ChatGPT, and it's all about how you word your questions, and you can say,
That's actually the hardest part.
that is the hardest part.
It's actually what
Yeah.
we found this week. The hardest part about doing this is actually how to word the questions to it, because often we'll ask them something, it's like, we can't process that.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't understand what you're saying. So it takes a little while to get used to what it can recognize, but it will help you with topics, definitely.
And you almost have to speak to ChatGPT as if it was a human. I mean, I don't think you have to be too polite. You don't have to say like, please write me a blog.
I mean,
but you can say like do this for me. Like, write me a blog that is witty and speaks about commercial real estate in 2022.
I mean,
you can't do
I think you
future.
should add in a please and thank you.
Of course, always be polite. Practice.
Like, we don't know what's going to happen to AI.
Yeah.
If it does turn into Skynet.
It'll remember. It'll go back and check.
Yeah.
You were.
If you've been polite to it, and you know, once the robots take over, they might look back and be like, listen,
They'll spare
that guy
you.
was really nice to me.
Yeah.
He was really nice to us.
Then the next one we did was property descriptions. I went on LoopNet and typed in, I typed in office building, and I saw the first building with the
On
property
Google,
description
right? On the LoopNet website,
on
not
the
on
LoopNet
ChatGPT.
website, not on ChatGPT. And I took the first one, looked at the property description, read it, took that address, put it onto ChatGPT, saw what it gave me. It's ChatGPT's version of the property description, and it was all
Bullshit.
off. All off.
All,
Yeah.
all wrong.
Wrong place. Yeah.
Wrong. I don't know where they got
Wrong
that
info.
information from, but it was incorrect.
A for effort.
Well, the information about the property was incorrect.
Yeah.
But the description itself
Was
was
wordy.
quite
It was-
well written.
Yeah.
You know, like you can see it here. We'll make it bigger.
It knew that the property description needed to come across in somewhat of a salesy.
like sexy.
Yeah.
You know, it did that quite well.
Yeah.
I thought it got the information wrong, but
It knew what the task was.
but again, like I've said this to you the whole week.
Yeah.
Whenever we've done this, it feels super cliche. So it's still writing in a very cliche, almost lame way. Like you could read a million property descriptions that sound like that.
Yeah.
That sound like this, and I wouldn't write, like if you want to stand out, you can't copy paste that shit, because it's like, that's what everyone sounds like. And maybe that's okay if you're just trying to bang stuff out and you don't have a lot of time, but it's super generic, it's very cliche, it's a bit like, yeah.
So if you took those points as like lorem ipsum and like what sort of thing you need to do, say you're starting out as a broker and you're like, I need to write a property description, or I want to practice, like that is a perfect way to look at
Great
like
way to start.
a random little like property description and see how it needs to sort of go. it's a good place to start because you can't
And you
always
can-
take what you see
yeah,
as
and
gospel.
The cool thing is that you can put in a lot of description about the property, and it's going to make it sound cool.
The more
know,
you tell it,
the more you tell it,
it's-
the more it can obviously produce. So we went very vague, but if you say like, it's an industrial property with 3 bathrooms and like 4 offices, and it's got a beautiful hardwood floor
in a vibrant area.
in a vibrant, you know, if you put that in, and then you say it in a pirate accent, it will do that.
Yeah.
Like you can see this example right there.
Yeah.
I asked, what is ChatGPT? It gave me the example, and then I said, do it in a pirate accent, a pirate tone, and it did that as well, which
You
is
can't
quite
not.
fun.
Yeah. You have to do it in the
quite
pirate
cool.
accent.
So yeah, it's scary but cool.
So what do we think? What is our overall
Okay.
opinion on ChatGPT AI?
Okay, like this is like quite a, I mean, we've only really covered the surface of what all of this stuff is.
First impressions.
I said it's the beginning. It's like looking back at Apple's first iPhone, and you're like, it's actually like, you actually want to laugh of like how bad it is. But at the time, when they released that first iPhone, I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Like no keyboard. Are you crazy? You know?
Yeah.
But I look now and I'm like, that's embarrassing that I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
You know,
but it's all relevant to the time that we're in.
absolutely all relevant. So we're at the beginning now of this specific type of AI, and it's gonna get nuts.
Yeah.
Like strap yourselves in, seriously.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be a roller coaster. We don't know what's gonna happen. We have no idea. But for me, the biggest thing is do not resist.
It's a force you can't fight against.
No,
And,
no.
And if you try fight, it's impossible to win. So
You're gonna
join the forces.
You're gonna lose your job if you resist this.
Yeah.
That's the way we are seeing it.
Not maybe not now, but
No,
at some
maybe
point.
not now. Maybe not now. And maybe some industries is not going to be adopted, and it's going to take a really long time for adoption. And commercial real estate is generally very slow to adopt technologies. So maybe not right now, but if you want to see the glass half full, then just by watching this video, you are already like leap
Opening
years
yourself up
ahead of competitors who aren't necessarily thinking about this stuff or don't even know about it. You're opening yourself up to the possibility that, yes, this could be an issue, but I am going to learn as much as I can about it and know as much as I can about it and make it work for me and my brokerage, whatever that might be. And I'm going to be the best at ChatGPT and the AI tools that I can possibly be. And that is going to put you so far ahead already. It's like the brokers that are on TikTok at the moment. No one's seeing it, but TikTok short, like Instagram, YouTube shorts, whatever, that trend is not going away for at least like the next while. So those guys are ahead of the curve already. And it's the same with this. Like technology is not stopping.
I think Gary Vee said something really cool.
People are like, this is bad, this is gonna take away jobs. And I'm like, yeah, but if you know your history, that's what people said about tractors. What happens is when jobs are taken away, new jobs are created. And what I see in copywriting AI is the commodity is being disrupted, but you have to come up with the ideas. Like I have to say, hey, write a blog post about V-Friends and compare it to wine and say it in the voice of Chris Farley. And then I've got to edit it. So ideas and creativity go to the top, the commodity of the execution goes to the bottom.
Tractors are important, but they're not the only thing in farming.
Yeah.
And it's the same as this. It's like, yes, when there is disruption in any industry, jobs will be lost. But that's a lot of the time from people that don't embrace that technology.
Let us know if you're using ChatGPT or if you're gonna go check it out after this video. What are your thoughts on using it as a commercial real estate professional? Don't forget to hit subscribe.
Cool.
Sweet. See you next time.
Later.